Tanisha Anderson, Nene, by Celeste Bedford Walker. A young woman on stage, tall, attractive, Afro, model-like. She is a sister to Tanisha Anderson. She speaks as herself and also represents the words and thoughts of various family members.
They keep asking me, "Are you okay?" No, I'm not. I am tired and traumatized, stressed and mad as hell. We're in 2020 and ain't shit changed. Almost 6 years ago, my beautiful sister, Tanisha Anderson, died while in Cleveland police custody. She was killed in a senseless act of violence by police when we specifically called for a welfare check to help during a mental health crisis. Tanisha was unarmed, nonviolent, begging for help, and was murdered by excessive force from CPD officers. She died on the concrete in front of my mother's house with a knee in her back. Who am I? I am her sisters. I am her mother. I am her daughter. I am her brother. I am her auntie. I am her uncles. We are all the pieces of her grieving chorus. We called her Nene. Nene was an extremely loving and giving person. She was outgoing, silly, always joking. And when she gave me her stamp of approval, she would say, "You go, girl." She suffered from mental illness, true, bipolar and schizophrenic, but she had been doing good for a while. Mental illness is like that. One day she hit a discordant note and paid for it with her life. People like Tanisha are often victimized and criminalized for having mental health issues, and they never receive justice. It's not fair. If only we had never made that call, but we were just trying to get my sister some help. But that night, Nene went to bed early. And I know she said her prayers because she always got down on her knees by the side of her bed and said her prayers. Our Father, which art in heaven, hallowed would be thy name. But just in case the prayers didn't work, she slept every night with the family pet pit bull Drama by her side. Well, later that night, the lights started flickering off and on and off and on, off and on, like what the what? Maybe Nene was up making tacos, but no, she was pacing back and forth, flipping the lights off and on all over the house, off and on, saying stuff. And Mother tried to stop her. "Nene, what's wrong with you, baby? Why are you turning the lights off and on like that?" She got loud, agitated, and argumentative. She'd had episodes like this before, saying she was seeing things and hearing things. It could be scary. Well, that night, she wanted to go outside in the cold in only her nightgown, and we couldn't let her do that. She'd freeze to death. But she was getting combative, and we couldn't handle her, so we called for mental health assistance. We were waiting on an ambulance when the damn cops showed up, responding to a disturbing the peace call, they said. Now, at first, it seemed like everything was going to be okay. They were calming her down. We were talking it through. We were all on the same frequency. And Mother said, "I think you ought to go to St. Vincent Charity Medical Center for an evaluation, Tanisha." And Tanisha said, "Yes, Mom." She wanted to go. She wanted help. Her sweet melody was returning. But when she got outside, The cops slapped cuffs on her like she was a murderer and tried to shove her into the back seat of the squad car. And she gets anxious in tight spaces. Nene said, "No, I changed my mind." "Ma'am, you got to come with us." "No, I don't want to go." "Ma'am, I can't change my mind." "Ma'am, I'm within my rights to decide whether or not I want to go in for a voluntary evaluation." "Ma'am, let me go. I have the right to refuse." "Ma'am, I know my rights." "Ma'am," the family jumped in. "Let her go. She's not under arrest. She didn't do nothing. We'll find another way to get her some help. Let her go." But they were hell-bent on taking her somewhere, to jail for all we knew. "Ma'am, get in the car. Get in the car, ma'am, or we're going to have to tase you." They started scuffling with her, trying to shove her back into the car. Mother pleaded, talk to her, just talk to her." The cops slammed her head down on the concrete sidewalk in front of our house. It was a takedown move. They didn't have to do that. And on top of that, her dress was lifted up above her waist, taking away all of her dignity. My brother started to run out there with his jacket to cover her up, but we pulled him back, scared they were going to shoot him. We kept screaming, "Stop, stop, pull her dress down. She can't breathe, call for the ambulance." But they wouldn't do anything we asked, wouldn't render any aid. They just sat on her. We were screaming. Nene was screaming, "I can't breathe. I can't breathe. She can't breathe. She can't breathe. Let her up. Let her up. Call the ambulance." She called for mother. Mommy, help, help." And then she started praying, "Our Father, our Father." Then she started asking, "Which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come forever." Tanisha Anderson left this earth November 12th, 2014. The cops got 10 days paid leave and restricted desk duty. They said she died from a heart attack. A heart attack. Lies. Tanisha was only 37 years old. She didn't have heart trouble, but they didn't care. She was just a crazy, angry Black woman to them. But slowly, my rage turned into gratitude for her brief life. We forever honor Tanisha's life and legacy, and we hope her story and Tanisha's law will bring about a change in educating the police on how to interact with someone with mental illness. If that happens, Tanisha did not die in vain. So speak up for victims of police violence, especially those who suffer from mental health issues. And say her name, Tanisha Anderson. We called her Nene. Say her name.
The end.